Hello, this is Ruby from the Useful Journal, and I'm here to show you my October spreads and probably mostly talk about my atomic habits, which I've been working on in this second half of the year. So just quickly to cover my theme, because I won't talk about it very much, I did a small nod to Halloween kind of theme, which I tend to do in October, by adding spiders to my floral stickers. So I have stuck with a fairly pretty theme using these two decorative washi tapes from Altenew. This is a gorgeous floral, I'm trying to remember what you call that, anyway, floral arrangement, whatever. And I've cut it into pieces along the way, and I've added it to this fantastic grid trellis type sticker washi tape. The thing with Altenew tapes is that the ones I've got aren't particularly sticky, these two particularly, and they weren't sticking properly, so I did have to use glue as well to hold them down. Then I've put under the trellis so that you could more clearly see the trellising, these washi tapes, and then I have printed out a whole bunch of spiders. I did about 3 different types of 4 different spiders, printed them out on my clear sticker paper, and then fussy cut around the image to add it to my layouts. And then just to finish it off, I did the lettering with my Tombow marker. I outlined it first with the thin end and then coloured it in with the thick end, the brush end, and then I've added spider webs with my Pigma 003 pen, which is very, very fine. And then finally, because it just needed a little bit of something extra to finish it off, I have used my Versamagic chalk based paints with a little brush and a little stencil to add a little bit of decoration around the edge occasionally. So that's the decoration, that's all I've done. It's very simple. So I have continued on with the atomic habits that I started in previous months since July. So this is now month 4, and I've kind of added a big one each month, but you'll see I've had to revise one this month because I wasn't doing very well at it. So this is just my monthly layout. I have got 1 line for each day of the week, but I have got 1.5 lines for the weekends because I tend to have more on then. I haven't had a lot in my calendar recently. It might pick up a little bit in October. Not much happens during winter here. See, very quiet. Then I've got my task list, which is my just main tasks that are going to take me a while to achieve. And then I'm continuing with my no snacks goal, which is simply to not buy packets of these particular things, snacky type foods. It's okay if I prepare a snack at home, like I put together a few almonds or I eat a homemade biscuit, like cookie. But I did reasonably well in September and I want to continue with it. So I'm not banning snacks altogether. It is simply just trying to stop myself going and buying snacks when I have a sugar low at 3 p.m. and I'm tired. So that's what that one's about. And I note here, I added this on what I had last month. I just thought it would be useful so I've tracked here next to these. I didn't actually intend that originally, just tracked how often I bought a particular thing. So that's what that's for. Then I've got my mental health tracker and my gratitude tracker. There's no particular changes to these in October. The spiders look pretty cool, I think. It's just like a nice pretty theme, but I've added a little bit of creepiness to it. Then I have my sleep tracker. Now, this is where I've made some changes. So in previous months, it's been evolving a bit, but I've always had a sleep tracker, right? So I track when I went to bed and then time I was actually sleeping. I am not being successful. My goal is to go to sleep at 11 p.m. and quite clearly I'm not. The usual culprit is reading, but occasionally I do a bit of doom scrolling. It's not working, basically. I took my screen to bed nearly every night. There was very rarely time for reading before 11 p.m. If something's not working, I need to revisit it and work out why. If we go back to July, when I started my Atomic Habits, we see my original layout for my sleep habit. My main thing is the reading. I need to stop having my screen in bed. I tend to read on my Kindle app, on my phone, on my iPad. I need to stop having that in bed. So I will continue tracking my sleep. But what I've added for October is to track distractions. And now this is a 24-hour tracker for each day. So it's pretty full on. I want to track when I'm reading, when I'm looking at social media, and when I'm creating content. It's going to be quite hard to track this across the whole month, but I'm going to try. And even if I don't achieve it every day or every part of every day, I'll have a go. Fortunately, I am aided somewhat by on Apple iPhones. You do have your, my screen time. And so like when you look at your screen time, it actually shows you how long you've spent doing particular things on social media or on your phone. And it tells you which app you've actually been looking at. So I can always refer back to that if I didn't note it down when it was happening. I suppose this month I'm not acting on it. I'm just trying to work out what's happening and am I allowing myself enough time in other parts of the day, or am I just doing it too much? I have actually been reading too much, have been escaping into books a bit, and I need to tone that down. And it'll be interesting to see how many hours I am actually reading each week. Liquids tracker hasn't changed. This is a new one which I'll come back to. This has been working really well. This is just my steps tracker. My jump rope habit has been going pretty well. I'm aiming to use my jump rope at least half of each month. Definitely achieved half the month. And I am usually skipping a reasonable amount. I'm pretty happy with how that's going, so I'm just continuing that. No changes at all to that. I did introduce a new atomic habit that I wanted to focus on last month, which was about not interrupting people. And this one is kind of hard to track. I tend to comment on it in my diary entries, basically noting down if I've noticed myself doing it. I will keep referring back to this page, but I did put a little reminder in here of the key elements of completing that habit, just as a little reminder. So when I'm flicking through my trackers, I can kind of note, remember that I need to do it. Then I just got my daily diary entry spaces, nothing fancy there, just more of the decoration, and then my monthly review at the end of that. Let's go back to my new habit. I have not had a great mood the last few months. It's been a bit on the low side, so I had to think about why that could be and what could improve it potentially. Been spending too much time at home. I have a history of singing. I studied music theatre for a year in England. I have been in stage musicals, things like that. Nothing big, just local stuff. And I do love singing, but I've got a bit frightened of it and and I just want to feel good about singing again. So my desired identity is to be someone that enjoys public singing. I have been keeping an eye on this local thing that you can go to, which is a pub jam type session. There's a couple of people that sing, everyone kind of sings along, and there's a karaoke machine to help with the words, and there's also it helps with the guitar chords and things like that. It's really low key, and I went, this is perfect. It's low key, no pressure. So yeah, that's why I've chosen that one. The habit will be to join the pub sing at the Berrima Surveyor General Inn on Mondays. So the cue will be to mark 5 to 7 p.m. Mondays in my calendar. The craving will be to research songs to sing during the week and practice them so that I'm familiar with them. And look, this is not a big deal. This is simply getting the song on Spotify and listening to it over and over so that I'm comfortable with it, and I'm more comfortable with the idea of singing it when other people might be listening. My response, and this is a key one, we work from home sometimes, so the key will be to work in the office on Mondays. Make sure I've gone to bed on Sunday night on time so that I actually get to this thing and have the energy to go after work on Monday. And the reward, I will keep this simple little tracker here, and all it is each Monday, I will just note down the songs that I sang or songs that I like singing, or I might note how I felt about joining in, just anything notable really. I just want to kind of note down how it went. So very low pressure habit that I'm trying this time, but it's something that I hope will improve my mental health, because I'll be out just hanging out with people in a low pressure environment, just having a bit of fun. So that is my new atomic habit for October. And that's it. So let's just go back to the start, and I'll do a quick flip through here. My title page. Sleep, distractions, hopefully this achieves something. Liquids, my new sing habit. Jump rope, steps tracker, reminder about communication, and then my daily diary entries. And my monthly review. The writing will be with that crocodile green ink from Robert Oster, which you can see here. That's the same colour. I hope you have a great October. I'll talk to you again soon.